This veteran is coming out. My name is Danella Frazier. I am a beautiful, personable, intelligent Afro-American woman. I am a Navy veteran and nurse of 25 years. Also, I am the mother of a child with a mental health disability. Her initials are KF. I'm sharing my story with you because it needs to be told, because it sheds light on the darkness of the injustice of a governing system that too often has failed its constituents, those who elected them and those they should serve. Injustice should not be a secret. I have nothing to hide, and I will not hide from the truth. My present situation has been ongoing for 5+ years to date, with 5+ years of ongoing court dates. I will no longer walk in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stand in the way of sinners, nor sit in the seat of the scornful. I delight in the law of the Lord, and in this law do I meditate day and night. I have made the decision to no longer be a pawn to the silence of psychological warfare and the out of sight, out of mind, closed system tactics. This situation illustrates the darkness, sin, and bondage of injustice and the unfair practices of inequality. I returned home with my daughter KF in January of 2010 for my dear mother's homegoing, to be shockingly met with a systemic homecoming. As a military veteran who has honorably served her country as a nurse, I wasn't deployed to a wartime zone in a foreign region. This battle I fight is in my own homeland, presently here in Chicago, Illinois. I wasn't held hostage by unknown enemy forces, but by the known forces of a flawed, often unfair system legislated by our Constitution to govern and protect us as U.S. citizens. For 5+ years now, my daughter KF and I have been subjects of a systemic oversight. These same systems created to help us instead not only denies appropriate and timely services, but disregards there is even a need, further embeds confusion, diversion, and then calls us both liars. My battle scars did not occur from physical injuries received on faraway fields, but were inflicted psychologically, seemingly an ambush for control at any cost upon our return home, not only negatively impacting me and my nursing career and rendering me homeless for 3 years, but my family, and especially my naive, defenseless, trusting daughter, KF. For those who disagree and detest my advocacy as a mother for my child, God bless them, many of whom are parents also and were once children. Their child is no more important than mine. All children matter. All those involved have a civic, moral, and human responsibility to help in a time of need, not divide and often exploit a family in the midst of a crisis. This is not fair nor therapeutic. We need to, and I quote, insist upon a modicum of civility from each other in place of tactical gain. Any other decorum is a barrier to justice and liberty. I never personally heard the voice of Gypsy Rose Lee. My experience is with the propaganda from the layers of practices of the educational, civilian healthcare, judicial, and child welfare systems, and the ambiguous associated paperwork to uphold and support them. I call it the gateway effect. Just look around and check the media reports. There is no shortage of examples of this and the civil distress and emotional unrest that it causes. Though I did not want to acknowledge it, but in my opinion, my present dilemma, as history has shown, is one of a one-size-fits-all, deep-seated pattern of oversight, stereotyping, denial of parental rights, disrespect, and non-support of a child's disability rights. The poison of indifference is an ever-present danger to humanity, MLK. I don't have any visible wounds, but you can't see the wound to my heart as a loving and protective mother of KF, who, with the diagnosed autistic spectrum since the age of 12 and the challenges of puberty, has been separated from family, has had the rug pulled from under her feet, and is still struggling to regain her balance. And in the midst of this long-standing accumulative dilemma, me not even being allowed to protect her, talk to her, or even give her a hug. Professionally, I have given 25 years of conscientious and knowledgeable service, helped to save and heal countless lives, and advocated for all those in my care. I most certainly should not be prevented from giving the same conscientious service as a mother and nurse to my own daughter KF. If I was allowed to skillfully provide for the wellness and healing of our sick and wounded service members and their families as they serve to protect our freedoms, justice, liberties, and truth, then why am I penalized for advocating for my personal integrity, human rights, and my daughter's well-being? We are also part of this USA. Let there be light in this situation, this twilight zone of injustice. Is this how our government treats its service members after service to country? As the late MLK said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. The aforementioned systems, they don't define who I am. I know who I am and whose I am, and not the fabrications that have been written about me. This ongoing situation needs to be re-examined by an outside federal prosecutor for a fair and just examination, consideration, and result. Chicago is my hometown and is an impressive city, but like many other big cities, it has a history and challenges with inequalities, indifferences, injustices, and lack of transparency, often at the expense of those who expect and deserve equal justice, fairness, appropriate representation, protections, and accountability. It shouldn't just be lip service or rhetorical. Not control versus truth, or low burden of proof versus non-disclosure of critical evidence. These codes of systemic silence and indifferences are more visible and more well known and documented on various levels of our governing systems than ever before. This past Mother's Day, I was reminded of my dear late mother's benevolence, my gift of love and caring for others, as well as being blessed to be a mother. I celebrate myself and mothers everywhere. A belated, happy, and blessed Mother's Day to us all. And as my mother often said, every day is Mother's Day. In spite of this uncanny situation, nothing can detract from our special gifts, for they are God-given. Likewise, a nurse. A blessed, belated Nurses Week to them all. Yes, I remain concerned about my dear daughter KF's well-being. After 5+ years of questionable restrictions, my love and concern is unchanged. A real mom does not leave or give up on her child. No child should be left behind. I will never apologize for being an Afro-American woman, a knowledgeable professional, or a dedicated mom. These characteristics don't automatically render me guilty of any wrongdoing. I will never understand nor accept this biased situation. Not as an Afro-American woman, a military veteran, a mother, a woman of faith, a nurse, or a U.S. citizen. As a mother and individual, I join with others in saying to this present evil, enough. Any time you violate human life and law, that's civil piracy, a sin, illegal, and against the U.S. Constitution. Stop the evils of injustice. Black lives matter. My life matters. All life matters. Families and youth. Evil, you can't have our lives, or our families' lives, or our youth. You can't have and keep my child, KF. Don't tell my child she has to endure mental challenges alone without family support. Don't confuse and tell my child her mom's love for her is twisted and she is unloved. Don't tell my child she has no home. And don't try to tell me that none of this matters. Oh yes, it matters. Don't confuse and continue to limit our lives with these real-time barriers and untruths. How do we expect our nation to heal when many of these injustices continue to go unchecked? Disregarding human rights, calling good bad and bad good, hearing and seeing the people protest but refusing to see, hear, and acknowledge the essence of what they're saying, and that you serve us. As the late Abraham Lincoln has said, the people will save their government if the government itself will allow them, unquote. And we all know the love of money is just one of the major roots of all evil. Don't keep adding insult to injury just because you have the authority. What examples are you setting for us? This prevents the healthy growth and spiritual healing of a person, a city, and society. We need to grow up into a higher level of conscientiousness. In conclusion, I have completed my military service, as many of us have, but I remain a public servant. And as we all realize, the battles for freedom, liberty, and justice for all, as is quite evident, continues. There's still much to be done, especially right here at home. To President Obama, I say, I request an outside federal prosecutor for my situation. I would like my record to be cleared, and I demand fair justice. To Gov.Rayner, I say, stop the pharaohship. It's unconscionable. To Mayor Emanuel, I say, correct the see no, hear no, speak no evil perspective, especially regarding people of color. We need and expect stronger, consistent, real-time representation. To the Illinois General Assembly, I say, the time is always right to do what is right. MLK. In these seasons of Passover, Mother's Day, Nurses Week, Armed Forces Day, and soon to be Memorial Day, no matter how it appears, the God I serve will bring forth the truth. In the name of Jesus, I submit my way to the Lord, and God will bring us out. This battle is not mine. It belongs to the Lord. He reigns. There's a way that seems right to a man, but in the end, it leads to destruction. May God give us the grace to do what is right in the eyes of the Lord, for His ways and thoughts are much higher than ours. God bless our military service members. A blessed Memorial Day to those brave men and women who gave their lives in service to country. And God bless America.